If I knew what was waiting for me, I would never have trampled the ancient library of St. Raphael's Medical College that night. But my ignorance, or perhaps a collection of inevitable events, pushed me up to that time, where my life changed forever. I was a third-year medical student, looking for a stability to read after a whole day of studies and laboratory exercises. Many students prefer to study in the main library, but I chose an ancient library, a silent and rare books that were not in the standard college system. There were no noise of other students or whispers of people who were tired of reading. It was a place where one felt alone, or that was what I thought. That night, the rain was raining vigorously, the thunderstorms cutting off the sky like metal swords. I arrived at the wooden door of the library, pushing the heavy door that made the sound. Inside, yellow lights were illuminating light, making long shades that were playing on bookshelves. The smell of old sheets and the skin of old books was filled within the air. I headed straight for the rare disease books, pulling a chair and putting my notebook on the table. But before I started reading, my eyes fell on the shelf of books that seemed to be the oldest, books that were tied to genuine leather, and some with small locks holding its pages. There was a small warning on that written shelf: "These books are barred for special uses. Please request permission before reading." But that night I had an unusual celebration. I stretched out my hand and touched one of those books. It had black skin, and a golden text that was temporarily wiped out. When I pulled it, I felt something like a little electric shock on my fingers, but I ignored it. It was heavy, and it seemed unlocked for many years. I opened the first page, my eyes rolling in the Arabic text written in dried blood ink. I felt a strange emotion passing through my body, just as someone had touched me on my back. I turned quickly. There was no one. When I went back to the book, I saw something that made me stop breathing for several seconds. My name, Zayn Malik, was written on the second page, in a completely new ink, as if someone had painted it a few seconds ago. I pushed the book away in fear, my heart beating vigorously. I bent down and tried to breathe calmly, telling myself maybe I was very tired and my eyes were cheating on me. But before I made the decision to close the book, all of a sudden all the lights inside the library were shaken and began to fade. There was a sound. The sound of the tension of the books on the shelves, just as something was moving between them. I turned slowly, the last light of the lamp reflecting on the shelf mirrors. I could see a long shade passing through the books, very quickly with the ordinary human eye to follow it. Then the strong wind suddenly blowed into the library, a whiteness that could not be normal in the closed room. The page of the book I was holding turned itself alone, standing in one passage of a written, red, thorns. When my eyes passed over those words, I read it in a whispering voice: "I have called you from the dark, come to my light." Then all the lights were shut down. Dark Totoro. The scary silence. And then action. Invisible, but approaching steps from the darkness. I sat quietly, feeling the sweat flowing into my back. I felt something was there with me in the dark. Something felt me. As I felt. Then a soft, feminine, but darkening voice whispered around my ear, "You called me. And now I can't leave." I screamed. But no one heard me.